Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be exploring something that's been in the background of a lot of my other previous videos. And it happens to be in my own backyard, an old type Skinner sprinkler system. You notice that there's a piping running against the block wall down at the bottom, and that is Skinner sprinkler pipe. This was developed by Charles Skinner in the late 1890s, early 1900s to help water his farm that he had in Troy, Ohio. So he developed a piping system with nozzles in it, and it's basically just galvanized pipe. He had drilled holes that are 5/16 by 24 thread and placed nozzles in them, usually no more than 3 feet apart. And that helped him to water his fields and his farm and whatever things else he needed. Skinner also developed other irrigation stuff later on, like brass impacts and sprays and little home and garden, other things that you run off your garden hose. So here I happen to have a system in my yard that's the old Skinner piping. These ones are spaced every 21 inches. And they have a 45-degree angle nozzles and also a flat half circle nozzle. They're spaced and alternated every other one. You can see here the spacing and the two different nozzle types. I had decided to install this system back in the middle 1990s, and it was on for my slope in my yard. I thought, well, what the heck, why not? I had the nozzles and I decided, let's do it. So I did. You can barely see it at this point, but that's the end of the line over there at the corner of the block wall. And it runs all along the base, all the way to the other end of the yard. There it goes, it's still continuing. Continuing all the way to the other end. I have approximately about 140 or 50 feet of piping, and it's from 1-inch pipe down to 3/4 piping. When I used to maintain these Skinner sprinkler systems, I've seen them as big as 1.5 inches and all the way down to 1/2 inch. You would see a lot of these on freeways here in the local Southern California, in the LA area. They're all over the place. And now they're pretty much all but gone. And it's kind of a system that you just don't see too much anymore. But for whatever reason, I put them in and I liked it. They put out a nice mist, as we'll see soon. Here I happen to have a couple different style nozzles. You can see the angle deflection. That one's a 45, and that one is just a very slight on the right here. That one has just a very slight deflector. Some of them had no deflection at all, where they just squirted straight on out. And just a very fine thread on the bottom of a very small hole. Later on in the years, a lot of other companies started making Skinner nozzles and parts for the Skinner system. This one here happens to be from Moody, and what this actually is an adjustable swivel union. And what it would do is the thread would go into a stationary fitting, like a T or an elbow, and that would be able to swing. And this would be screwed onto a length of pipe. This one happens to be 3/4. And you can angle the whole piping if it was a straight shot. And you can angle the deflection for like perfectly 90 degrees up or 90 degrees out or 45s or whatever you needed. So this was a union that was a swivel union. It may be hard to see here in this photo, but that's where the water supply goes in, and it splits off in two directions. 1 inch going in and then 1 inch going out on one side on the right, and 3/4 inch going out on the left. And since it's fixed, you had to fix the piping to where you wanted it to have the nozzle spray the way you wanted to. So this swivel union that I showed earlier, you could deflect it again to whatever angle you wanted if you wanted to use the swivel unions. So let's now check out the system actually working. Here we go. Might be difficult to see the way the sun is shining right now. I'll try to get some different angles here. But anyways, these systems, again, they were good for long, narrow areas that you needed to water, where trenching wasn't too easy to do. So you can see how it works. You know, they scored out about, in this particular case, probably about 5 to 8 feet. A nice fine mist. The maintenance on these things were typically quite high. As you can see here at the end of the line, especially the nozzles are getting plugged up, or they are plugged up. So you have to remove them and flush the line out and clean the nozzle and put them back. All right, stick around and we'll show you some photographs of some nozzles out of various sprinkler catalogs, and also some photographs of Charles Skinner's patent. Here's all my extra nozzles that I have, and you'll be able to find them in all these various catalogs right here. Skinner type nozzles. From the 1954 Febco catalog. More nozzles from a 1960 catalog from Febco. They call them spray tip nozzles now. Buckner made them, and they called them Edger spray nozzles. And this was taken out their 1975 price list. And this is out of the Moody catalog. All the angles there. And they were also offering adapters to go from half-inch pipe to the threaded nozzles. And this is taken out of their 76 catalog. Stay tuned for a couple pictures of Charles Skinner patents that he had signed from way back when. Again, thanks for joining me today.